Hey guys, Paul here. I know it's been a while, but I'm back getting over a cold and some other things, but it's okay. I'm here to talk more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically today, I wanted to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh's demographic. And don't worry, I'm not going to use the word problem in this video, or at least not exactly in the title or anything, because I'm trying to be more positive, okay? So we're going to be happy today. We're going to be nice. Let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh's demographics. Who exactly is the type of person that plays Yu-Gi-Oh? What is the profile of this Yu-Gi-Oh player? How old are they? What sort of stage of life are they in? And how does that affect the overall Yu-Gi-Oh community and some of the issues that we like to talk about with Yu-Gi-Oh? So this is going to be something of a stream of consciousness. So, you can follow along as best you can and let me know down in the comments when I'm done what you think about this or where you fall in the kind of Yu-Gi-Oh demographic economy. I don't know. Okay, so when I think about Yu-Gi-Oh, I think for a lot of people, they have been playing since they were kids, or maybe they played when they were kids and then got like back into the game later, something like that. But regardless, a lot of people did get into Yu-Gi-Oh from the anime. They might have been in grade school, something like that. And so what that means is that if you are still playing Yu-Gi-Oh now, today, like watching this video or whatever, you're probably in your mid to late 20s or maybe in your 30s. And that's not meant to be an attack or anything. That just kind of seems to be the demographic that plays Yu-Gi-Oh the most. That's the demographic that watches a lot of like my channel and my content the most. That's the demographic that you'll see at a lot of events and things that you go to is kind of, people who are in their mid 20s, early 30s, or so on, who they've really been with Yu-Gi-Oh through thick and thin. They really like it, and that's totally fine. But I think that the age demographics of Yu-Gi-Oh really do affect things a lot more than you might think. So I feel like in some ways we've kind of all been fooling ourselves when we call Yu-Gi-Oh like a children's card game or whatever for fun, because I think the hard truth is that there are barely any new kids playing Yu-Gi-Oh these days. I mean, think about your local card shop if you have one. How many kids are there really at your local card shop playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Probably not many. And most of the card shops I've been to, both in my area or when I've like been out of town, I don't see kids. I don't even really see very many teenagers, which is a bit worrying, but maybe that's a different topic for a different video. I might get into that a little bit more later. But yeah, I mean, most of the people that you see are, people who are like adults. And what comes with being an adult is A, usually more disposable income, at least after you're kind of like past college age. And then B, a bit of cynicism because you're older. So let's break down the first one. I think because adults have a lot more disposable income, it's why we actually see event growth and stuff like that happening. So YCS events over the last few years now have been kind of breaking records in terms of attendance. And it sometimes seems a little bit weird when you juxtapose it against the fact that like Yu-Gi-Oh is not seen as a really beginner-friendly game, right? We're not really, we don't have much of an on-ramp, we're not really getting many young players, and it's just a tough game to learn, blah, blah, blah. So why is it then like we have so many people at these YCS events when like it didn't seem like that maybe 6 or 7 or 8 years ago? I think a big part of the reason why is just because the younger generation that like got into Yu-Gi-Oh as teenagers or whatever are now in a position where they can do that traveling. They don't have as much of an issue with like, getting a hotel, getting a flight, kind of planning these trips for themselves. And it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh players in the 2000s, couldn't do that. But I think that just fewer of them did. And so now that sort of seems to be why I think we have this disproportionate like positivity in event growth, but maybe negativity in like people picking up the card game. I also think that that newfound disposable income is why Yu-Gi-Oh card prices have been able to get as high as they've gotten in, I want to say recent years, although it's kind of, there's always been expensive cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, but why I think more and more people seem to be sort of willing to just bite the bullet on card prices. Because if you want to win right now, you're probably playing like a Snake Eye, Fire King sort of variant, which means you probably have to get like Wanted, Bonfire, SP Little Knight, all these rather expensive cards that are, for at least the best deck in the format, are kind of needed to win. Now, people don't like the card prices. I'm certainly not suggesting that I do. I really don't. I don't play that deck. I have no plans on playing that deck. I don't know any of those cards. Nada. But for people who want to win, that's the type of stuff that they're going to have to get. And I think that because more people are kind of coming into points in their life where they have more money, they're just able to soak up the cost and buy the cards anyway. And it's not, a matter of liking that they're expensive, but just kind of accepting it as like, well, it's my hobby. I can afford to buy these cards, I guess. So, I'll buy the cards, and that's kind of where we end up. Does that mean that maybe Konami is able to get away with some slightly skeevier, printing practices with the cards? That's up to you to decide. But I do think that the reason why these cards are able to persist at the prices that they do and still manage to like move is a willingness from the players. Like, Konami making the stuff hard to get is certainly one thing, and I've always said that we need to change card printing rarities. I think that's crazy and all. But it's kind of strange that like these cards are able to cost this much, but then you still see, top players and competitive players just buying them because I guess they have to. And maybe it's not a big deal because they have, it's their hobby, whatever, they have the money to do it. Okay, so the next thing too, though, is I think that because a lot of us are older, there's a little bit more like cynicism or skepticism around buying products. And it's something that I've kind of caught on to in recent years is like, Yu-Gi-Oh players, we're big on the whole like buy singles, don't buy sealed product, right? What's interesting about that though is that I feel as kids, it was always exciting to buy packs. I think it's just because, the wool was maybe over our eyes, so to speak. We didn't know that like, rarities, printing prices, the value of buying a pack and opening a pack and getting something good versus not. Like, I think when you're an adult and you have money, but still like you have, I guess, more of a consciousness around, is the thing that you're buying worth it? Is the thing that you're buying going to like get you, give you some sort of value, right? Like some tangible value. I think that's where we get this slightly more jaded community and like player base where it's like kind of more like, I don't want to just buy a pack of the new set, like Dragons of Legend or something, just because it's new and on the shelf. Sure, maybe it would be like fun to just open a pack just for the heck of it, or sure, it would be nice to support my local card shop. But I don't really think that nice sentiments like that really are for many people paying the bills, and so they have to make kind of a very rational decision about whether or not they want to buy something, whether or not they want to buy a single or try their luck with sealed stuff. I think there's a bit of lost magic, maybe. Lost magic of like opening packs and just kind of getting what you get or whatever. It's been a thing that I've been kind of, I don't want to say combating in my own personal life, but I've been trying to get more comfortable with buying 1 or 2 packs whenever I'm at the store. My local Walmart finally started stocking Yu-Gi-Oh packs again after years of not doing it. So sometimes when I'm there, I'll just like grab a couple of packs. I try not to do it with the intention of like getting card value out of it. It's just like, oh, if I pull something good, then I do, and if I don't, then I don't. It's not the end of the world. It's only, 1 or 2 packs, so it doesn't hurt me too much. But yeah. Now I guess if I had to give this something of a negative side, these videos can't be completely positive, right? It's probably just that I think because we have such an older demographic of people, there is a, we aren't seeing new people join the game. Whether or not that's really more of Konami's problem, I guess, although it's all of our problem for playing Yu-Gi-Oh, huh? Because we want like more people to be around. But I think that there still is like a big issue with like we probably need to get younger people into this game. It's tricky though because like if they get into the game and they want to play good decks, they just won't be able to afford them. But maybe that's like kind of just the Yu-Gi-Oh way. Like it's just the struggle that you go through as you are young and can't afford the stuff, and then you get to the age that most of us are at now, and you can't afford the stuff, and so you just splurge on it. I don't know. I do still think that like the whole new player, new blood problem it's prevalent, but maybe that's just a different video for a different day. All right, anyways, I'd love to know, where do you guys fall on this sort of totem pole? Like, if you don't mind sharing, how old are you and what are your sort of financial feelings towards Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, how much are you willing to spend on it? I'm not saying that you have to be like happy to, buy expensive cards or whatever, but just like if you're the type of person who buys bonfires and wanted or whatever because like, you are just, trying to build the deck or whatever, like that's fine. I'm kind of curious, why it is that maybe you do that or what, like how you feel about it. And for those who are maybe on a more of like a budget, what maybe stops you from spending more on Yu-Gi-Oh? There's certainly nothing wrong with taking care of your bills and other obligations first, but I think it'd be an interesting topic to have in the comment section. Okay, anyways, I'm starting to get a little bit lightheaded, so that's where I'm going to cut off this video. I will see you guys in the next one. I'll be reading all of your comments and responding though. All right, pass turn.